Hi, I'm attorney David Gibbs III with the National Center for Life and Liberty. I want to greet you as we are putting this online webinar training together and share with you that the goals we have for this session are twofold. Number one, we want to overview the new PMA Agreement for Wellness Services, often referred to as the AWS. And then number two, we're going to discuss all of the diverse legal issues that are impacting your practice. And what we want to do is let you accomplish your goals. So we want you to have maximum effectiveness, but we'd like to see that done with minimal liability. We're certainly honored to serve with the PMA and to help in these arenas. And we want to let you know if you have any questions, the NCLL, our team, is available to answer any concerns or thoughts that you may have. First of all, as you look at the Agreement for Wellness Services, you can visit the PMA website and pull it up, and you can navigate to it by looking online at the links that are being provided to you. As you make your way to it, you'll notice that there are some specific provisions where the Agreement for Wellness Services is up on the screen. Now, what the AWS does is it defines your relationship with your clients. These are the people that are coming in and you're having the opportunity to minister. Understanding the nature of that relationship begins with an understanding of pastoral science and medicine and the basis of your PMA license. Pastoral science and medicine, as we put in the slides PS&M, is the term that's used to describe the system of natural approaches. These are founded upon spiritual principles to promote and improve physical, mental, and spiritual health. That's what your PMA license authorizes you to offer to your clients. Now, in promoting your services, we advertise that clients of PMA practitioners achieve health improvements by making positive lifestyle changes and following other natural procedures that are scripturally sound, scientifically based, and professionally administered pursuant to acceptable standards of care. The PS&M services you're permitted to offer under your PMA license are defined and they're limited by what we call the PMA scope of practice. If you look at that, all activities under your license need to be within 8 categories. Number one, they need to be scripture-based. Number two, they must be within the documented education and training you possess. Number three, they need to only include safe, natural substances and protocols. Number four, they must address one or more of the physical, mental, or spiritual aspects of health, either directly or indirectly. Number five, they should not harm any individual or place anyone's health or life at risk. Number six, they must have a basis in improving or restoring health and not be promoted, this is important, or offered to diagnose, cure, or treat any illness or disease condition. Number seven, they must not use or recommend the use of any machine, equipment, device, product, protocol, or otherwise that A, violates any law or is considered unsafe, or B, has been negatively publicized by the press, or C, would bring governmental action against you as a licensee or negative publicity to the association. And then number 8, you must not recommend the discontinuance of any legend drugs or controlled substances that are prescribed by an appropriately licensed healthcare practitioner. Obviously, you can refer people back to their medical doctor for that to be considered, but you under your PMA license should not be taking people off of their authorized prescriptions. In the United States, your PMA license is premised upon the First Amendment. And that's in our Constitution. As we know, the Bill of Rights were the first 10 amendments, and it is under your religious freedom that the Congress cannot inhibit what we call the free exercise of religion. Now, there's some concern, some confusion. State medical boards will often say the PMA is not licensed in the state. This is a correct statement when the reference is to being recognized as a license to practice medicine. We are not authorizing doctors to provide medical care. The PMA license does not authorize or purport to authorize the practice of medicine, chiropractic, or any healthcare profession that is licensed or regulated by secular governmental authorities. However, states do not have legal authority to recognize the PMA or to deny it. Accordingly, the PMA is not bound or required to have any state acceptance, authority, or permission. It's an ecclesiastical license, which means under the First Amendment, these can be issued by the organization. But this constitutional freedom, as you might imagine, is not absolute. There are still legal tests as to whether you'll be protected under the First Amendment. It's very fact-specific, what you're doing and how you're holding yourself out. For example, oftentimes the law will ask, are you sincere? Is this really a religious belief, or are you just doing this to maybe do something that you would not otherwise be licensed to do? And some states can impose even limits on spiritual practices if they deem it to be some type of risk to the public or to the consumers. The PMA's licensing rules and regulations, including the Agreement for Wellness Services, are designed to help you solidify and protect your right to practice pastoral science and medicine free from government regulation or problem. When offering your services, this is where certain things become very important and valuable. Separating your PMA practice, not commingling it with a state licensed practice, having a dedicated PMA website, having a written practice disclosure, providing all the required PMA explanations, disclosures, and disclaimers in your advertising, and specifically using the Agreement for Wellness Services with every client, thus creating a legally binding agreement, a contract that can be enforced. In other words, what you do, your actions, can support or undermine your constitutional rights. Your PMA license only gives you the baseline, the opportunity to succeed in this area. Now let's talk for a moment about the AWS, the Agreement for Wellness Services. It operates to clarify your relationship with your clients. Among other things, the agreement declares the parties' beliefs in the right to seek health care of their choice. It establishes a private associational relationship. It confirms the client's understanding of the pastoral nature so they can't say they were confused or didn't understand. And it specifies the manner and means by which client grievances and disputes will be resolved. In short, the agreement confirms the private nature of your relationship with your clients and gives you additional constitutionally protected contractual rights. All provisions of the AWS are important and helpful, but you should note specifically your responsibility stated in paragraph 2 to provide your clients a written practice disclosure. And that's very important, describing your education, training, and experiences in the services to be provided. If you're not a medical doctor, you certainly wouldn't want someone to be confused and to think that you are. And so that written disclosure is important. The provision intentionally mirrors requirements of health freedom laws enacted in several states that allow practitioners of complementary and alternative medicine to practice without a license as long as certain conditions are met and disclosures are given to clients. This is simply another legal angle that AWS integrates for your protection. We're helping you meet these required disclosures to protect your right. You can now use the AWS page on PMA's website, and it's listed there in the PowerPoint, to facilitate signing the AWS with your clients through an exchange of emails. You start by submitting your and your client's names and contact information in the online form, and then you can see the fields will fill in, and you are then able to proceed forward. You can now use the AWS page on PMA's website, and it's listed there in the PowerPoint, to facilitate signing the AWS with your clients through an exchange of emails. You can submit your and your client's contact information through the form, and then it will proceed forward with various confirmations. This is a very practical and handy tool that we would encourage you to check out. Now, for a moment, let's talk about how PMA wants to promote you and what it is. It's an established ecclesiastical organization, and it's helping people who value and prioritize their health, who believe in the freedom of choice when it comes to health care, and are seeking natural means for restoring health and promoting vitality and well-being for themselves and others. To these ends, the PMA does four things. Number one, we license spiritually minded health professionals. Number two, they promote the PMA licensee safety, effectiveness, and growth, including the right to practice. They connect clients and PMA licensed practitioners. And lastly, they provide diverse healthcare resources plus health savings for PMA Health Network subscribers. PMA's newly expanded mission going into this year and beyond is to focus on lifelong health and well-being to help end the epidemic of chronic illness that we see gripping our nation. Strategies that are coming forward to enhance the licensee's legal protections, to improve client clinical outcomes, and to help PMA practitioners grow their practices and reach more clients. It's important to note, and I want to stress this loudly, PMA licensees do not, and again I say do not, practice medicine. More specifically, practitioners of pastoral science and medicine do not examine, diagnose, or treat. They don't recommend or prescribe any drugs or medications. Instead, what they're doing is a completely natural approach founded upon spiritual principles for promoting and improving physical, mental, and spiritual health. We certainly encourage folks, health-conscious people that is, to join PMA's Health Network and enjoy the rewards. You can partner with healthcare providers. You can monitor your wellness index. You can learn how to get healthy and stay that way, lose weight, feel great, have more energy. Stop and reverse the progression of chronic illness. Set a positive example for their families and friends. You can save money. This is huge in today's world by managing healthcare costs more effectively, having more money to spend on what's important to you. You can receive PMA's Health Network news and gain the resources PMA gathers for Health Network members. Visit PMA's website and you can learn how you can join. Now, let me go through maybe what we'll call the trouble areas, things that can get a practitioner in trouble. Failing to separate your pastoral practice. If you commingle your state licensed operations and your pastoral practices, you have now opened up your entire pastoral practice to state review. Commingling records, providing state license services and pastoral counseling to a client in the same appointment. And PMA, to help promote separation, now has leased websites that you may want to look on the website and see if that would be a help to you. You have really four basic choices, and so you can lease a customizable website, or you can engage PMA's web designer to help you. You can create your own website, but don't use a website to promote your pastoral practice other than linking your PMA credential or logo to PMA's website. Now, more things that can get you in trouble: the inappropriate promotion of your pastoral practice. Making claims, advertising that you're diagnosing, treating, reversing, or healing diseases through protocols or supplements. That will catch the attention of regulatory boards. Referring to your services as therapy or treatments. Failing to include the PMA disclaimer. Now all of a sudden a client says, well, I thought, or it was my understanding that you were a medical doctor, something that you're not. Failing to provide clients written practice disclosure that describe appropriately your education, your training, and your experience in the services that you're going to be providing. Please understand, some people get a misconception about the PMA license. It's wrong to think that the PMA license covers everything that you do. It covers you, the individual. It's your license. It's not every activity your office may do. Believing that the PMA allows you to use certain equipment, it does not. A mistaken belief about when PMA will provide legal services. PMA will defend your right to practice under the license, but you are responsible for your own defense of violation of state laws or regulations, and you are responsible for your own defense of any client malpractice action. Now, at the National Center for Life and Liberty, we do have programs where practitioners will join with us, and we provide legal services as general counsel. And so if that's something that would be a help to you, we'd certainly be glad to talk with you. Other things that can get you into trouble: failing to read the policies, rules, and regulations. I know it seems basic, it's all online, it's there for you, but so many folks don't take the time to understand. They pass along hearsay. They don't understand the rules. They don't understand the importance of carrying malpractice or liability insurance. They exercise poor judgment as to referring clients to a more experienced practitioner or back to their own doctors. And this is important. If you have someone that you're not able to successfully serve, very important that you refer them to appropriate trained professionals. Or they violate the escrow policy, which is the #1 area we get complaints about at the PMA, is handling other people's money. Please note carefully, describing your practice or services in ways that mirror state-regulated healthcare activity, that will catch attention and oftentimes a board review. Using your position as a pastoral health counselor to influence client actions to benefit you personally. Very careful. You're a person of trust. You're a counselor. Very important that you recognize business deals or other things can create problems for you because the other party, the person that's the client coming to see you, is not an equal negotiator. And then dating or having sexual relations with clients. While not commenting on the morality of this, this is a horrible business practice. Please understand that type of activity can oftentimes create huge liability on a civil side or even sometimes a criminal side. So be very, very careful when you're engaging in any type of personal activity with clients. A best practice, stay professional, stay pastoral, and you'll stay safe. We want to thank you for watching and listening to this licensing and legal issues webinar, and we hope that you found this to be helpful. Again, if you have any questions, visit our NCLL website, ncll.org, or all of the resources that are on the PMA website. We want to make sure that you succeed and do everything you're called to do. Maximum outreach, maximum service. We want you to achieve all of your goals, but to do that with minimal liability. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.